Hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have from the After Hours Gaming League, League A Division 1 is going to be Facebook versus IBM. It's going to be game number 2. Currently, Facebook is sitting 0-1, so they are currently down a game against IBM, so they're definitely going to be looking to try and take this game number 2. You do not want to be down 0-2 in a best-of-5 series. That is such a hard position to come back from. But with that being said, Protoss versus Protoss on our hands. Let's go ahead and jump in and introduce the players. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have Team Facebook's player. He's going to be the red Protoss player. His name is going to be Winkletoss. Winkletoss, currently 5-2 in the After Hours Gaming League, 2-1 in Protoss versus Protoss, actually, of those games. So he's played quite a few games in the After Hours Gaming League and quite a few Protoss versus Protosses. I've seen him go for a large variety of different builds, going between different Stargate openings and Dark Templar openings, Blink openings, all kinds of crazy stuff. So really going to be expecting him to go for whatever he feels he's most comfortable for this map. And one thing that I will note is Winkletoss has some pretty awesome micro. I'm not going to lie, he's held off some pretty awesome cheeses. Very scary moments, but that's just a little bit about Winkletoss and his opponent. Spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map as the blue Protoss player representing Team IBM that is currently up 1-0 in these best-of-5 series. It is going to be IBM's Kuma. And Kuma is also a pretty strong Protoss player, currently 2-1 in the After Hours Gaming League, 1-1 in PvP. But he seems to like the Twilight Council tech. That is also what I like to call the Citadel of Adun, so if I accidentally say Citadel, that's what I mean. It's the Twilight Council, because it's like they renamed the Citadel of Adun from Brood War. But regardless, he seems to prefer that, going for Blink Stalkers or some sort of Dark Templar openings. I've seen him go for both of those in his 2 Protoss versus Protosses. But look at this, going for very fast 2 gas guys. This is also something that he's been doing in some of his previous Protoss versus Protosses. In the meanwhile, it looks like Winkletoss gonna follow fairly short behind, so could be also going for some kind of very early gas opening, or this could just be to delay Kuma from being able to try and steal his gas geyser. Doesn't want to have to deal his gas geyser being stolen and delaying his own mining of gases. That can be very, very annoying to deal with. In the meanwhile, we do end up seeing Kuma putting 2 guys on both of those gas geysers. Has not actually gone for an extra gateway, as you know, in both of those other 2 Protosses he played, he actually went for that fast early second gateway, going for the 3 Stalker rush that a lot of Protosses like to open up with. In the meanwhile, we're actually going to see that 3 Stalker rush coming out of Winkletoss. So Winkletoss should actually be able to make some good use of it. And here we end up seeing, ooh, a pylon is going down. What is this? We do end up seeing 2 guys in both of these gas guys. This could actually be a lot of different things. You could actually go for some kind of very, very special it's kind of like a slightly delayed 4-gate, but you get out the Mothership Core as well, just because you also have those 4 guys on gas rather than just 3 guys on gas, as a 4-gate normally comes with. But no, we're going to see a proxy Twilight Council, and with all of that extra gas, I would actually really like to see him, put 3 guys on gas. Now, he's probably going to be going for some sort of Dark Templar rush, and with the proxy, it does stop Kuma from actually being able to scout this out very effectively. Even if he gets an observer in his base, or, you know, moves in with the Phoenix, as we will probably end up seeing, he's not going to see the actual Dark Shrine, and this could be devastating for Kuma, as he is going for that Stargate. Now, this is a difference between Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, though. When you go for the Stargate tech now in Heart of the Swarm, you can still get detection. All you have to do is get up that Oracle. In in Wings of Liberty, if you went for Stargate tech and your opponent went DTs, you just kind of lose. That's kind of it. There's nothing really else to it. But this is going to be a really interesting opening, though. The Dark Shrine is on its way. It still has another 80 seconds before it is finally finished. That's going to give Kuma some nice time to actually move around with his Phoenix. And oh no, this is going to be a really interesting scout. As the Phoenix is going to come in here, he's going to see 4 gateways and wonder what's going on. This isn't a 4-gate. You don't have an expansion. And, I mean, it's way past the time when a 4-gate would actually hit. He does actually see a proxy pylon, and he turns around. Oh my god, this is actually really interesting. He's turned around, so that's going to delay his ability to actually scout out to see what his opponent is up to. Winkletoss is moving down across the map. This could actually be a really nice mind game play from Winkletoss. He could put on a little bit of pressure, make sure that his opponent's not being too greedy. And in the meanwhile, he's going to think, or force Kuma into thinking, oh my god, my opponent is about to go all-out aggression on me with just pure units. I need to get up as many units as possible. That's going to delay him from doing things like, say, getting out an Oracle to do a little bit of light harassment, or getting out a robotics facility for an Observer. And that's going to make these Dark Templar that are going to be warped in very, very soon. Where are they? Over here. They are going to be super duper effective. In the meanwhile, also, he is actually just forcing out all these force fields right now. And look at this, there are only really one force field, there's one force field left. And if these units try and move up once again, oh, wait, no. He's just going straight for the Archon. He's going to be able to smash the force field. It's going to be so difficult to deal with. The Archon's going to do massive damage to these Zealots. The Zealots are forced back, and now the Dark Templar is going to come in. The Forge is about to go down. It looks like Kuma realizes that there is a Dark Templar out with this army. Now, there is actually an Oracle out for Kuma. This is amazing for Kuma. He really needs that Oracle. It's fantastic that he had the game sense to actually get that out. He's going to be able to pick off that Dark Templar without really losing a whole lot, only really losing one worker. That might have actually just been the scouting worker or something of the sort. But wow, really fantastic play from IBM's player Kuma, able to hold this off quite well. And I mean, now he's going to be sitting in a very nice position. Now these Zealots are going to be taking a massive amount of damage against these Archons. So really, the game is not over yet. And also you have to remember that the Oracle needs enough energy to actually be able to detect that DT. Looks like it's actually being detected right now just because of that Oracle. It just does have barely enough energy as the second Oracle is out. So that's going to stop that DT, but now what does Winkletoss do? It looks like he's gone for an expansion. I kind of like this decision. As long as you're keeping your opponent held back over here, your opponent has to sit here and had to invest the gas to make 2 Oracles. It's going to be hard for him to actually move out, especially with this high Zealot count. He's going to have a hard time actually finding a good engagement as long as you can decide and dictate where the actual engagement is going to happen. If it happens at this ramp, this Archon is going to do a lot of splash damage against all the Zealots on the ramp, all clumped up and really just being funneled through. And now we see a nice force field going down from the Sentry. As, I mean, really, what can he do about it? I mean, he can try and pick it off with maybe the Phoenix, or maybe even try and get a snipe off with the Oracle, but it's going to be very, very difficult for Kuma to actually move out with this entire ground army. In the meanwhile, though, Winkletoss is going to go ahead and retreat back. We do end up seeing a proxy Zealot warp in, trying to do a little bit of damage. It doesn't look like he's killed off any probes just quite yet, but he gets a really nice scout off and is going to force all of these units actually back. That's going to allow Kuma to move down and out. Now, here is going to come the very, very scary part for Winkletoss, and Facebook's player Winkletoss is going to have a very difficult time holding this off because Voiders are actually incredibly strong in Protoss vs. Protoss now. They used to be kind of a gimmicky thing. You can kind of go for them and do okay with them if you get them into a large enough number, but now just having 2 or 3 Voiders in your army just adds so much DPS to your army just because of the ability that you can charge up whenever you want. You don't have to attack some certain unit for a certain amount of time to actually charge up your voids. You just activate the ability and then they do a ton of damage to armored units. So, the question is going to be, how does Winkletoss respond? He's gotten out his own Stargate, going to be trying to defend with those Phoenix, but is it going to be enough? A lot of Zealots are actually out for Kuma, and Kuma looks like he has the better army at this point. The Voiders trying to charge down that Archon, as the Archon's going to be doing a lot of damage to the Zealots otherwise, and now they're going to go ahead and focus fire down those Phoenix that are going to be trying to pick off those Voiders. I think it's an interesting choice. But in the meanwhile, the Zealots actually having their way with a lot of the Stalkers. It's very, very difficult for those Stalkers to actually do a lot of damage. You have to micro so unbelievably well to actually deal with it. And there we're going to end up seeing a GG coming out of Winkletoss. So IBM takes game number 2, putting them up 2-0 in this best of 5 series. They're 1 game away from winning the entire series. This is going to be very, very important for them, as IBM wants to win this game if they want to try and snag that 2nd place position in their group. And Facebook wants to win the game to snag the 4th place position in the group. Looks like Kuma wants to continue watching all the buildings die because that's just the kind of person he is, I guess. I'm just kidding, but regardless, we do end up seeing a GG getting called out. So really well played by both those players, but unfortunately, it looked like the Dark Templar Rush did not end up working out quite as well as Winkletoss had hoped, as having that Oracle out, just really amazing game sense from Kuma, knows his timings really quite well, and probably also saw the army composition from his opponent and thought, that doesn't seem right. I should get an Oracle, just in case my opponent goes for that Dark Shrine, and if he doesn't, you know what, it's okay. Oracle does actually add quite a substantial amount of damage, and also is a great harassment unit, so you can go ahead and utilize it for that, even if your opponent does not go for those Dark Templar. But regardless, that's going to be the end of game number 2. Come tune in game number 3 to find out who's going to end up winning, or if we're going to take this to a game number 4, and potentially even a game number 5 after that. Only one way to find out. I will see you guys in game number 3.